Hi everyone, my name's Leanne Oldham. I'm Programme Manager in Dorset for our Vetverse work.
And I'm Lorraine Tom, I'm matron at Dorset County Hospital and one of the clinical leads for the Vetverse project.
Just to describe a little bit about our LMS footprint, so it gives you a bit of an understanding about the landscape in which we work in Dorset. We've currently got about approximately 7,000 births a year. We have very rural areas in West and North Dorset, but we also have very urban and dense population with lots of diversity in East Dorset. So we're working in quite a mix in our STP. We have 3 maternity providers working across Dorset and 1 health visitor provider. So that just gives you a bit of background to our STP there. We started the project back in March 2016. What was really important for us was to really plan out our project and what we were going to do and kind of split it into 3 stages. So we started with stage 1, which was understanding our local needs. So we did a local view seeking and needs analysis. Part of that, we ran several issues workshops, we ran an online survey, we also mapped our current services, looked at where we had inequalities across Dorset, where we had gaps, which really kind of informed our opportunities to take forward as part of an early adopter. So that was kind of our first stage, which then kind of fed into stage 2. However, part of stage 1, we also felt it's important to develop our MVP model. So this is a bit of a complex slide, but it just gives you an understanding of our MVP in Dorset. So we recruited 2 MVP leads who were very much being really integral to developing the work of the early adopter in Dorset. They engage with local communities, different support groups, harder to reach groups. They link back into our partnership reference group, where we have lots of different organisations across Dorset that help steer the work for our LMS. So just moving on to stage 2. So we then went into stage 2, which was just as important as stage 1. So based on the opportunities that were identified in stage 1, we went into a co-production stage where we ran 5 redesign workshops with our families, with our professionals across the system. So this really helped us tie down the identified opportunities that we identified, but also kind of enabled us to look at the detail of what we were able to offer. So what we thought we might do as an early adopter actually changed through that process of co-production, through the redesign. We then took that work from our co-production stage, developed a business case, which we took to our project board to sign off for the key developments which I was about to talk to you about, which we moved into stage 3 in February this year. And Lorraine will
stage 3 is the implementation, probably the most important in some respects, because we obviously want to implement change. We did focus on many key initiatives you can point. We had our single point of access, our postnatal care pathway, and our digitalised personalised care plan with 3 key points. Too fast. Now on our postnatal key changes. So postnatally was one of the real key targets that we wanted to change in our postnatal care. The background around this is our postnatal care is actually more than just midwives giving the care. It's really a combination of midwives, support workers and health visitors. So we first of all needed to do a lot of work at co-working, co-understanding. Really there was some kind of quite a lot of barriers we had to break down initially at that point to make sure we had the right people in the room to make decisions and to make the changes. We developed a postnatal care plan, which is at the throughout the pregnancy. We're obviously doing the personalised care plan, but the postnatal one would actually start at 36 weeks. So by that time they would have seen their health visitor, and the health visitor with the midwife has made that postnatal care plan for the woman. The midwife then does the primary care contact visit, and that's the first visit at home after the woman or in the home after she's had a home birth, to decide on taking into consideration her risks, taking into consideration is she suitable in the terms of risks, who is going to provide the postnatal care with her. This is done in conjunction with the woman to understand her needs. We then have developed to support this for our support workers. They go into the maternity, support workers go in and do the visits between day 2, 3, 4 and 5, giving them really supporting them with feeding and many other aspects. And we developed a postnatal passport. We did this with AGE, and that was to make sure that we had the standards within our support worker system, that they had the standards to do the care. So they have a set criteria and competencies that are done through a buddy system and a midwife mentor. What I mean by that is they have a buddy to help them as a previous support worker who's on the floor working the job as such, understanding their needs, supporting them in a more emotional kind of way, and then the actual midwife will sign off their competencies to make sure that they actually have got the standards to give the care. We then went on, and that's been really successful, I'll come back to it in a minute. Then we could then go on that the health visitor is now doing the middle visits. So the health visitors are doing the middle visits between day 10 and 14. It's no longer midwives going in at that point. The health visitors go in at that point, so it's again in conjunction with midwives and health visitors who are working. And the midwife then returns between day 21 and 28. At that point, the midwife, that visit is known as what we call our discharge visit, our public health visit. It's really about making sure the woman is not carrying any loads from what she's had in her pregnancy, making sure we've talked to her about her pregnancy journey and really debriefing her, understanding what her needs are. Also with that time, it's about her public health. Where is she going from now? Has she still got a raised BMI? Who's she going to help her with that? Has she got still smoking? Who's going to help her with that? So it's about women's health moving forward for the next time they return to us and try to condense that into a public health visit with debriefing. And then, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Postnatal consultants. So our postnatal consultant clinic is being piloted, and that's done between 6 to 12 weeks postnatally, and that's for women who may still have medical needs that they need to resolve before they continue on, and they come back to see the consultant to meet those medical needs. For those women who may have additional needs, safeguarding, there is the enhanced care pathway which we have in place also, so that we haven't missed any of those risks that we could miss by doing the other pathway. And we've developed a standard operation policy, and that's to ensure that we're all agreed on what we're doing. Health visitors, midwives and support, and the whole team is agreed. Thank you. Personalised care, we've done many things. It's quite a short time to tell you all the things we've done, so we'll just quickly capture some of them. First thing we're launching is our Maternity Matters Dorset, which is our website. Our website is where women will do their single point of access. What I mean by that is they can choose where they're going to deliver their baby. So first of all, it's done by postcode. So when they go on the website, they'll be able to pick up from their postcode what services, what is available to them, and make their choice then of where they want to deliver their baby or where they're having their care.
Then we've got the development of the digital personalised care plan. So what we've done here is we've taken the strategic route in Dorset and we've aligned that to our Dorset STP roadmap. So we're not developing anything in isolation. And that is the Dorset Care Record, which is a whole care record for the patient across, from birth right the way to end of life. So we felt it was important to try and build our care plan within that strategic approach. We're actually one of two, maternity and cancer are the first two services within Dorset. They're actually going to be trialling the citizen portal on our Dorset Care Record. And we are building that with the suppliers, and we've done all the kind of key requirements for that and all the data fields that are expected. But now that they need to actually build it, and we hope to go live with that in the summer next year. I think the important part here it is not in isolation to maternity. All health professionals, social care, GPs will be able to see everything relating to the woman, as well as the midwives being able to see everything relating to any social care needs they have, anything that's happening within their medical history or that. So that's where we're at with our Dorset Care Record.
We must also not forget our dads in the process of what we do. We also found that the dad pad was very useful. It was a very useful tool. We used the paper copy first to trial it out. Would dads be interested in? The uptake was quite amazing actually. I was kind of, oh my goodness. So now we have signed up for a 4 years lease for the dad pad.
Yeah.
For the app. Sorry,
Yeah.
going digital. For the app.
We will also keep hard copies as well for those that don't want to access the app.
We've said about the maternity support worker training. We've also developed a Dorset risk assessment policy that is still in process in the terms of we have now got agreement from consultants. So when you take this into context, we've got 3 different sites and 3 different consultant bodies who have different points of view. So now they've all come together, and we have got a risk assessment that will be verified and in practice very, very soon. We're quite happy that we've got to that point. That was a long journey, shall we say. Emotional wellbeing online module. We're developing a emotional wellbeing online module. That's for parent craft and antenatal classes, not in the traditional way. We're going to have an online module that people any women can access. This is being done through Bournemouth University, and they're in the process of actual building this online module.
So we're trying to do something different with that, in that we don't want to do anything quite standard. We want to do something that's interactive, really kind of helps women and families understand their mental health needs. So we're trying to use gamification and animation within that process, and we're hoping that the trial of that will be in April. That should be finished. And if that works for perinatal, we'll be looking at how we can use the same process for other parts of the antenatal and postnatal education programme as well. And just to say quickly, on the digital inclusivity, we're doing a lot of work in terms of digital for maternity, but how do we really make that work for those that are maybe more isolated in the community? Would digital isolate them further? So we're working with our local authority partners and working with the digital champion work streams to look at how we really engage with those vulnerable groups of individuals where online may not work for them, but how can we help them make it work for them? So we're progressing with that, and hopefully we'll have something more to share in the end part of next year with that.
I'm going to whiz through the how because I've got a time at the back, so
Oh,
I'm going to.
we've got time.
So the how. So there's 3 key points with the how. What was very key to us was clinical time. We, as clinic leaders, had 1 day a week, and we have support from the project lead, which is Leanne from the CCG. So one of the key things was clinical time and making sure we actually did take that 1 day out rather than piecemeal of doing that. Also the facilitation, as I say, and the tools, getting away from the trust, not staying in the day job, actually coming away to an area where you can work. And we're going to just do one more slide if that's all right at the back, which is the challenges and successes we'll run to.
I can whiz through the governance. I think many of you can understand it's been quite difficult to getting the governance right. And if in Dorset, that's been further impacted by us becoming an ICS, so it's been a bit more challenging to land. But it has been really fundamental in getting the governance right, as it's really, now it's in place, has smoothed some of those blockages that we found we were having. So if it is something that really needs to be done as early on as possible if you are at the start of your LMS journey.
3 key challenges we had was really involvement from the right people at the right place. Like I said, health visits, engagement, protecting our time to make sure we do the work, and we discovered IT digital is a really slow process to get done in a short period of time. It's not possible to get everything done in that short period of time, but we have now got more of a strategic plan that we can work forward from there.
Just to say the pluses and minuses, the plus and the minuses on the wrong side.
Embarrassing they're the wrong way around. So just
if we have to send these out, can we swap that around?
we're kind of like, oh gosh,
sorry.
And successes, strong relationship, working across Dorset, and the co-production that we've done. Next steps, and we're done.
Next steps. I won't read all of these out, but these are our next steps, mainly related to our early adopter programme. But obviously, we're an integrated programme, so our whole LMS plan is part of that as well. So, but What I haven't added here is actually we are reviewing our perinatal mental health pathway from April and developing a strategy for that, as well as we're continuing on to develop our continuity of carer model, where we currently have 22%, I think, but we're progressing work with that into next year to retarget where our focus is on the continuity. And just for a bit of a key selling point, we are doing some events in early next year to share with our local stakeholders, staff and families. So if anyone's interested in attending, you're more than welcome.